तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशातदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। सो वी वेलकम यू ऑल। थोड़ा आवाज कम कर। Welcome you all for today's Friday satsang. Today we will discuss one very important topic which is given to us by Srila Prabhupada, and the topic is preaching is the essence. So if you see the four pillars what Srila Prabhupada gave us, which starts from purity is the force, books are the basis, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So all the other 3 points we already discussed in the last classes. So today we will discuss something on what was very dear to Srila Prabhupada's heart. Prabhupada said preaching is the essence. Now the meaning of word essence means sar, the conclusion of everything. Why Prabhupada said preaching is the essence of ISKCON? He could have said tapasya is the essence, or gaining shastric knowledge is the essence, or maybe building big temples is the essence. Why he said preaching is the essence? Why prachar is the essence? So if you see why specifically Srila Prabhupada focused on prachar, or why it was so important, is because the very fact that ISKCON is coming in the parampara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to do prachar, Nama Sankirtan. That was the whole objective of appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every avatar of the Lord comes with some objective. Narsimhadev comes with some objective. Lord Ram comes with some objective. Krishna comes himself with some very specific purposes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came specifically for preaching, prachar, because he wanted to show how to follow bhakti. And who else can show us bhakti other than Lord himself? So if you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to say, Prithviyachi nagaradi gram sarvatva prachar hoilo mora naam. Every town and village of the world, let there be my glories. And if you see Nityanand Prabhu used to go door to door and do prachar. You know, his prachar was not like us, give a pamphlet, people will come, then I will talk. He used to go door to door, knock the doors, fall at their feet, and then he used to say, please chant Hare Krishna. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. That was the preaching mood of Nityanand Prabhu. So ISKCON is coming in this parampara. That's why prachar is very, very important for all of us, right? Now what happens by prachar? So when we do prachar, one very important thing happens is that our sadhana becomes strong. Now we all are trying to chant 16 rounds, attentive 16 rounds, trying to follow the 4 regulative principles. Yatha Shakti, we are offering and serving the deities at home. We are trying to develop our love to the Supreme Lord. Now this is our sadhana, that is my own efforts to reach Krishna. These efforts gets multiplied if we do prachar. Prachar is not for me, right? Prachar is for someone else. If I don't do prachar, my sadhana will continue. But if I do prachar, my sadhana the effect of my sadhana will get multiplied. Why? Because when I am doing prachar, my connection to Krishna becomes even more stronger. Because I have to constantly pray to Krishna. What is prachar? You are making someone else do something else against his wishes. In actual terms, right? In material world, who wants to become a Krishna Bhakta? No one. So we are telling him to do something against his wishes. How we can do it? Unless we have the full blessings of the Lord. And that's why when we are doing prachar, a very big part of prachar is prayers to the Lord. Lord, I am trying to spread your message. Please help me in my endeavor. So when we constantly do prachar, when we constantly pray to the Lord, our connection with Him becomes even stronger. Otherwise, we remember Krishna only when I am chanting. That too, maybe 1-2 rounds, remaining 10 rounds will be just Brahman. Right? We remember Krishna only when we come in front of the deities. Otherwise, most of the time we are there in our own life. But when we are doing prachar or thinking of doing prachar, this mood of prayer comes very naturally. That's why we should be doing prachar. Because prachar helps us in our own sadhana, right? I was listening, Maharaj was saying that we as Krishna Bhaktas, sadhakas, ultimately want mercy of Krishna. Mercy of Krishna is not possible without mercy of Radharani. Mercy of Radharani is not possible without mercy of Gaurang Mahaprabhu. Right? And mercy of Gaurang Mahaprabhu is not possible without the mercy of Nityanand Prabhu. Now till this point, okay, everything was understood. I said, wow, yes, Maharaj, you're right, perfect. Maharaj went one step ahead. Maharaj said, the mercy of Nityanand Prabhu is not possible without the mercy of whom? Jagai Madai. Now, what is this? This is something different. Ye kuch naya sunne ko mila. Right? So what Maharaj was trying to make a point is, Nityanand Prabhu, for him, most important thing is prachar. And he used to do prachar to people like Jagai Madai, who are most fallen. So when we get mercy of Jagai Madai, now how we'll get mercy of Jagai Madai? By doing prachar to them. When the Jagai Madais of the world will become devotees, they will realize, oh, this is the person who helped me. And when in his prayer, he will have us later. And that is how we will get mercy of Krishna. It's a chain. So ultimately, everything is going towards prachar. This prachar karya should never stop. And we should not think this is something different. Oh, I'll do my sadhana. Okay, I understood. I have to read Bhagavad Gita, do Hare Krishna, worship the deity. I'll go home back to Godhead. Bas ho gaya. Bas aap ye sab aap karo. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. Sankirtan means prachar. If there is no prachar, there is no life. Prabhupada used to say this. There are so many quotes of Prabhupada focusing only on prachar. If you read it, you will feel, my God, I have to do so much. I have to do so much. Right? And over here, as we are discussing this, sometimes we feel that Radha Krishna is like the ultimate. Of course, Radha Krishna is our supreme father and mother. But a lot of times we watching some YouTube video or some other thing, we get focused on Radha and only singing Radha name. So I was contemplating on this, and then what you think you get to hear. So then I got to hear one devotee speaking, and then I found it very, very useful that yes, Radharani is the Supreme Lord. she is the one whom we should worship, we should get her mercy. But we cannot take her names directly. Who is she? She is just not some ordinary woman. Like suppose we have a house, there is a whole family in the house. If someone comes, he knocks the door, and he'll take whether that is a stranger coming to the house. Whose name will he take and call if he has to call the owner of the house? Whether he'll take the name of the wife of that house? No, he'll take the name of the husband, right? So and so, Parsekar, or so and so, Govinda. He'll not say, Geeta, you come out. What is this? Not heard about. This is not right etiquette, right? Not the right etiquette. Matajis are protected. They are not just open for the whole world. Simple logic. Same logic over here. Who is Radharani? She is a supreme goddess. She is the feminine potency of the Lord. She is not different from the Lord. So Lord is a feminine potency. So we cannot just take a name just like that. There are some sects and some things people saying just say Radhe Radhe. Yes, we should say, but it might not be, or rather we might do offenses in just saying Radhe Radhe. That's why our Sampradaya, Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Radha Rani took the form of Gaurang Mahaprabhu. She took his mood, Gaurang Mahaprabhu took the mood of Radharani and the varna of the color of Radharani. And that's why when we chant Gauranga, when you say Gauranga, Gauranga, it is not different than Radharani. Rather, it is a very safe way. It is very safe. It's not safe just to say Radhe, 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 Radhe. Of course, in our heart we can say, but it's not safe. We might do offenses. Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, safe, Audharya Purushottam. No, it's very important. We are there for last 10 years in the movement. We should know these concepts clearly. नहीं तो कल कोई भी आके आपको कुछ भी पट्टी पढ़ा के चला जाएगा. We have to be very clear in our concepts. Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, no offenses. We might do offenses to Radharani. That's why it's not very, very encouraged to take her names directly, right? So that's very important. And here if you see the whole disciplic chain of mercy formation, it goes to Prachar. The next point is Prachar makes us humble, humility, right? Humility means what? Humility means I am nothing. Krishna, you are everything. That is humility. When we are doing our work, other things, I am the boss. ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये ऐसा करना चाहिए. I have this much bank balance. I have this much name. मेरे नाम से काम होता है. There is no humility anywhere. But when I am doing prachar, when you go with the Bhagavad Gita, will you buy Bhagavad Gita? You are humble. You don't know whether guy, he will just outwardly reject it on your face. We call someone for program. We have to be so humble. Come please for our program. Humility comes naturally when you are asking someone, please chant Hare Krishna, just start chanting Hare Krishna. We have to be so humble. We have to be begging. In our heart of hearts, we are begging. So this principle of humility naturally comes when we are doing prachar. And humility is the most important quality of a Vaishnava. Humility is the most important quality of a Vaishnava. Rather, it is said that the gates of heaven are very narrow. If someone is very proud, he is not allowed in the spiritual world. Humility is most important thing. And when we are doing prachar, this quality comes naturally. Because what is prachar? Prachar is sharing Krishna with others. It is not some superficial thing. It is not telling some facts and figures to someone. Nowadays on YouTube we get a lot of figures. Aisa hua, aisa hua. Wo dekhne se no one becomes a bhakta. No one becomes a bhakta. You have to share Krishna which is there inside you with others. That is prachar. So for this, humility naturally comes into us. That is one very important benefit of prachar. Once the disciples Srila Prabhupada, they were having his Vyas Puja celebration. So they said, is there one word which you can summarize what is Srila Prabhupada? One word. Okay, if I ask you, what if you can summarize Srila Prabhupada in one word, what will be that one word? Any one word? Bhagavad Gita? Jagat Guru, okay. What else? Compassion. Right? It was his compassion. He was happy in Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. We all want to settle in Vrindavan. He was there. Ho gaya tha. His ticket to Vaikuntha confirmed. But it's only because of compassion he went to the West. It's only because of compassion he started everything. It's only because of his compassion he did prachar. No one had any hard. There was no hard and fast rule that he was supposed to go to US. He was in 70s, fag end of his life. Only because of his compassion he did prachar. So when we do prachar, compassion comes in our heart. Prachar is the biggest humanitarian work. Nowadays people do a lot of Samaj Seva. We have to do this Samaj Seva. Other day someone messaged me, do ISKCON feed hungry people. तो अभी मैं क्या बोलूँ, मैं बोला आ जाओ आप, we'll see what we can do, right? You think about it, why it's good, we have to do that. But if we feed someone, next day he'll get hungry again. We give him something, after some time he will require that thing again, material things. It's not that we should not be giving, we should be giving. Rather, ISKCON does so much of humanitarian work. But the biggest thing is connecting him back to Krishna. Think about it. आप ठंडे दिमाग से बैठ के सोचे इसके बारे में. The whole world, what they are doing now. A lot of y'all are working in companies, right? Or y'all know so many things happening. First 10-25 years of their life, what they do, they earn lot of money. And then what they do, they take some part of it and do charity, right? You take any example, any big owner of some big company, they do a lot of charity. Why? Because they want to give something back to the society. Looking at them, we also feel, oh, I also should be giving back to the society. अभी हमारे पास है ही क्या देने के लिए, right? So if you see what otherwise we give back to the society, that is all material thing. It's material. It may be food, it may be even education. Even if you give education to someone, it is not necessary that he will be a good citizen later. He might be using the same education for doing something wrong. But that doesn't mean we should not be giving. We should be doing charity. But the biggest charity is giving them Krishna. Because if we give Krishna, this can be their last birth. No more birth again. No more birth again. So we don't have to wait till the last retirement age of our life to do some charity. We can do it now, abhi, by doing prachar. When we give Krishna to others, this knowledge to others, we are connecting them back to the Supreme Father. It's like a child who is lost in Kumbh Mela. अभी गए थे ना, आप में से आधे लोग गए थे वहाँ पे, सब लोग ही लोग दिख रहे थे. मैं ही तो 2-3 बार गुम हो गया. It's a fact. You don't know where is he gone. And some people were with the children also. I was feeling so scared looking at them. बच्चों को लेके क्यों आ गए भाई, right? Of course, they must have written the phone numbers and all. This time it was much tech savvy and a lot of drones and other things were flying over there. So if a child is lost in Kumbh Mela and you found him, you'll do what? You'll give him some food. You'll say, okay, you take this money. Yeah, that's good. But what is the best thing? Take him back to his parents. Who are your parents? How you're lost? Come, I'll take you back. We all are lost in the Kumbh Mela of this world. It's a Mela. Isn't it a Mela? सुबह ऑफिस में जाके पता नहीं रहता क्या होने वाला है शाम को. मेला है कि नहीं? घर में आके पता नहीं रहता कल सुबह क्या होने वाला है. मेला है कि नहीं? सबके व्हाट्सएप स्टेटसेस देखो, मालूम पड़ेगा. सब लोग ढूंढ के कोड ढूंढ के निकालते हैं. मुझे उससे खुन्नस है. गूगल पे एकदम ढूंढ के डालेंगे, उसको पता चल जाएगा. डाल दिया मैंने. आई एम डन. सब देखो, सब वी फील दैट वी आर वेरी प्राइवेट. दिस इज टेकिंग एवरीवन. सबके कट्टा चिट्टा खुल रहा है इधर ही, राइट? द वर्ल्ड इज अ नास्टी प्लेस. If you really want to do humanitarian work, connect them to Krishna. That is the biggest humanitarian work, right? Sometimes Prabhupada used to say, Prabhupada said, even one of my disciple goes back home to the spiritual world, I will feel I have perfected my life. So Prabhupada used to do so much of preaching, but in the heart of his heart, he used to say, even one person becomes perfect, I have perfected my life. Same thing with us. We don't know we will go or not, but if I do prachar to someone, he will go, and because of him I will go. So prachar, very, very important. And prachar is also the need of Kali Yuga. If you see in Kali Yuga, everyone is going to hell with jet speed. Prabhupada, they used to ask Prabhupada, why you are going in jets? You are a sannyasi, you should be going in car or some other mode of transport. He used to say that everyone is going to hell with jet speed. If I have to go and catch them, I have to match up with them. And that's a fact. It's a fact. If you see the world outside, it has become so nasty. So nasty. You see our school children, what we used to see in colleges, that is come in school, all bad things. It's come in school, it comes in primary also. All these advertisements and Amazons and Netflix, they all are targeting whom? They are no more targeting us. They are targeting the kids now. Because they know 10 saal baad he'll be attached to me. The advertisements, everything is for them. So the whole world is going at a rampant pace towards hell. And if we have to do something good, they always say, what you want to give back to this world? We are staying here, we are breathing, we are getting food, water. What do we have to give back? Kya de? Hum kuch nahi. We give plastic only back. Plastic has become the biggest demon now. We are giving more plastic. What we can give back to the world? This we can give them. We can give them the knowledge by which they can be permanently out of this world. And when you become a devotee also, you become very sattvic. So it's very, very important for us to preach. This is a very, very big opportunity that we have got. It's a big catch. बहुत बड़ा लॉटरी खुला है हमारा. That we are getting an opportunity to preach. And we'll see what is preaching. In 5 minutes more, we'll see what is preaching. A preacher remains in constant prayers to Krishna. We discussed that. Yeah. Now, why preaching is so important to Srila Prabhupada? In 1967 was the first batch whom Srila Prabhupada initiated. 65 May ISKCON was established. 66, 67 first batch within 1 year. And when all the disciples were sitting after initiation, we give Guru Dakshina to the Guru. So Prabhupada told them, if you want to give me some Guru Dakshina, give me this Guru Dakshina that you will do preaching. Now you just see, more than half of them were just 3-4 months old. Just 3-4 more months old. Maximum someone will be 1 year old, because ISKCON चालू हुआ था 1 साल पहले. उसके बाद आए उनको. अभी यहाँ पे तो 10 साल बाद मिलता है इनिशिएशन, अभी इतना जल्दी मिलता नहीं है. बट पहले प्रोपाद दैट वाज एन इमरजेंसी, तभी 2 महीने में इनिशिएशन सब पूरा. तो ही सेड, एंड ही डिड नॉट वेट, ही डिड नॉट से ओ दिस पीपल आर यंग, वो क्या प्रचार करेंगे. ही सेड, इफ यू वांट टू गिव मी सम गुरु दक्षिणा, डू प्रीचिंग. Preaching is very, very dear to Srila Prabhupada. We have got this mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We have got this lifestyle. We have got this path. If at all something we have to, we cannot give him anything. If we have to give him something, we have to do preaching, because these are his words. Only pleasure. Bhavanand Prabhu. So we had this devotee called Bhavanand Prabhu. Those of you all who have read Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrit and other tapes of Prabhupada, you must be knowing Bhavanand Prabhu. So Bhavanand Prabhu was one very senior disciple. So once Bhavanand Prabhu asked Prabhupada, what is the meaning of my name? Because after getting initiated name, we always ask, what's the meaning of my name? Sudra Madhav Prabhu. Sudra means well-wisher. He is always a well-wisher of everyone. So what is the meaning of my name? So his name was Bhavananda Prabhu. Bhavananda means who takes Anand in Bhavasagar, this world. And Bhavananda Prabhu said, Prabhupada, but what Ananda is there in this world? You have preached us that this world is a place of misery. And you have kept my name Bhavananda, who is taking Anand in Bhava. So Prabhupada said, yes, this place is a place of misery. But there is only one pleasure, and that pleasure is preaching. Preaching is the pleasure. And this preaching can be done only in this world. It cannot be done in the spiritual world also. Why? Whom we will preach? Everyone is Krishna conscious. कोई है ही नहीं, सब भक्ति है उधर. सब जगह हरिनामी दिखेगा, सब कुछ भागवतम चल रहा है, कोई कृष्ण लीला चल रहा है, कोई ये लीला, कुछ है ही नहीं प्रचार के लिए. तो प्रचार कैन बी डन हियर ओनली, not any other place. That's why prachar is very, very important. We spending so many years in ISKCON, we should be knowing this, that this was very, very dear to Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said there are three things by which we can please Krishna. We all want to please Krishna, right? How many of us want to please Krishna? We all want to please Krishna, right? We are pleasing everyone. We are pleasing our bosses, husband, wife, children, everyone. Why not to please Krishna? Bhagavatam says that there are three. Now if you say how to please Krishna, it is so difficult to please your husband or wife, right? पता ही नहीं क्या करना है. लास्ट टाइम आई डिड दिस यू लाइक, दिस टाइम आई डिड इट यू डिडंट लाइक. चेंज होते रहता है मूड. अभी हम जिसके साथ रहते हैं उसके बारे में पता नहीं है हाउ टू प्लीज हिम. हाउ वी विल नो हाउ टू प्लीज कृष्णा? भागवतम गिव्स द आंसर. Bhagavatam 4th canto 31st chapter 9th shloka, it is given how to please Krishna. There are three ways by which we can please Krishna. What are the three ways? The first is by showing mercy to all living entities. That is preaching. Second, by being satisfied somehow or other in whatever we have. And third, by controlling our senses. These are the three ways we can please Krishna. What is the first way? By showing mercy to all living beings. How we show mercy? By connecting them to Krishna. That is prachar. Second, what is second? We have to be satisfied in whatever we have. Whatever Krishna has given us by our prarabdha, the way we look, the way I talk, the amount of money I have, the amount of intelligence, the wife I got, the husband I got, the children I got, the neighbors I got. Neighbors also can't change na 20-30 years. EMI khatam hone tak unke साथ ही रहना है. We have to be satisfied. We should not be cursing. रोज रोता है भगवान के सामने, क्या भगवान दिया, क्या मेरे को दिया तुम. So, बाबा relax. Be satisfied in what you have got. You got this because of your prarabdha. Whatever you did, you got it because of that. This is not, I have not given you. You worked hard for it and you got it. In your last life, you worked hard and you got it in this life. Simple. मैं बीच में हुई नहीं कहीं पे. भागवतम में बोला है 4th canto. So we have to be satisfied in whatever we have. And what is the third one? Sense control. बहुत important है. The 6 anarthas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, matsar, somehow control it. These are the three ways we can please Krishna. Right? Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushta eva kena cha sarva indriyo santa cha tushtan asu janardana. This is the shloka. Black and white, no ambiguity. Simple. That is Bhagavatam. Very clear. Krishna says, these are the three things by which you can please me. Now start pleasing me. Right? So the first thing what Krishna says in pleasing is prachar. Even in Bhagavatam, which is a shloka in Bhagavatam or where Krishna says prachar is very important. In Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavatam to bahut hai. Bhagavad Gita to most of you all will know. There is one section jahan pe Krishna says that prachar is very important. Or one who does prachar is very dear to me. Which chapter it is? 18th chapter. Last. Krishna tells in 18th chapter 68th shloka and 69th shloka. He says, Ya idam param guhyam. He tells Arjuna. No, why this is important? Na? 18th chapter bole to Bhagavad Gita is over. 18.68 70 में खत्म हो जाता है भगवद गीता. There he is telling Arjuna, I have given you the most confidential knowledge. Ya idam param guhyam mad bhakteshu abhidashati bhaktamayi param kritva maya ashasi ashayam. And then 69 he says, Nacha tasme manusheshu kaschit me priya kritamaha. Among all the men, that person will be very dear to me, priya, who gives this knowledge to others. 45 minutes सबको stop किया ना कुरुक्षेत्र में, सब stop. Kuru stop, Pandava stop. Only Krishna and Arjun. 45 minutes time is stop किया कृष्णा ने. And Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Full Bhagavad Gita. 800, 700 shlokas. And then in the last he is saying, whoever gives Arjuna, whoever gives this knowledge to others will always be priya to me. Not now, even afterwards, that person will be very priya. Very, very clear. There is no doubt, no ambiguity. Krishna tells one who does prachar is very priya to me. The fourth way to become dear to the Lord. 3 we already saw. Everywhere, if you see, these Shastras are something which has lot of keys. Only and it is revealed to us only by Guru and Sadhus. Sometimes people say it's very difficult for me to understand Bhagavad Gita. What is so difficult in this shloka? He says, whoever does this prachar is very dear to me. And we'll see what is prachar, okay? Don't be scared of prachar. Prachar purifies the heart. Preaching the holy name and teaching Krishna purifies the heart of whom? Three people. The speaker, one who speaks, one who hears, and one who listens. Now, why there are one who listens and hears? Because Bhagavatam was spoken like that. It was spoken between Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami, plus there were so many other sages in Naimesharanya. So everyone got purified. So when we do prachar, our heart gets totally purified. So the second part is what we should be doing prachar. So what prachar we should be doing? So when we say Hare Krishna or prachar, first thing comes to us is Bhagavad Gita, because we have to give some gyan. So a lot of time people say Bhagavad Gita is very difficult. I don't know the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So if you see Bhagavad Gita, there are three parts basically. There are total how many chapters? 18 chapters. They are divided into 6, 6 and 6. The first 6 chapters is about me. Who am I? So the second chapter, Krishna says, you are not this body, you are soul. Then he speaks of karma yoga, jnana yoga. Till 6th, it is me, about me. I am the soul, I should sit like this, I should do this, I should do pranayam, I should do tapasya, I should eat only this much. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha, everything is spoken about me. First 6 chapters is about me. The second 6 chapters is about whom? Lord. Because from 7th chapter onwards, Krishna says, Tat Shrunu. The first sloka of 7.1 is, hear about me now. And then he starts speaking everything about him. 8th chapter, 9th chapter is the most confidential knowledge. Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuro yad karoshi yad anasi. Everything is spoken in those middle 6 chapters. And the last 6 chapters, from 13 to 18, is about Prakriti. Everything around us. It speaks about the 3 gunas, it speaks about the karta, it speaks about the field, the doer and all those things. So the first 6 chapter is about me. The second 6 chapter is whom I belong to. I belong to him. And the third 6 chapter is where I am in this material world. So that is Bhagavad Gita. Simple. Right? Why I am telling you this is, a lot of time we feel Bhagavad Gita is very big, we will not be able to study it. But we should make an attempt to study Bhagavad Gita. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, has answers to all our questions, all our doubts. Every day we should be reading it little by little, whatever possible. Right? This 3 things about Bhagavad Gita, what we spoke, is also there in one shloka, just one shloka in Bhagavad Gita, 15.7. Krishna says, Mamayvamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shastra indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Mamayvamsho jiva loke. Mamayvamsho jiva loke means all the living entity are part of me. Mamay loko jiva vansha jiva bhuta sanatana. They are eternal. Mana Shastri Indriyani, they are struggling with mana and 6 Indriyas. And Prakriti Sthani Karshiti, they are in this Prakriti. So these 3 things what we spoke is there in this one shloka. So like this, there are many shlokas in Gita which will help us to preach. So when we are preaching, what is the knowledge that we have to give to people? This knowledge. This knowledge, who am I? We are not this body, we are soul. Krishna is the Supreme Lord and we have to connect back to Him. It's called SAP. Sambandha Gyan, Abhideha Gyan and Prayojan. Who is Supreme Lord? What is our relationship with Him? And third, how to connect back to Him. And along with that, one more thing we have to give them, holy name. Harinam. Somehow or other, give them Bhagavad Gita and holy name. And once they start chanting the holy names of the Lord, automatically from inside transformation will happen. Holy name will do its effect. You know, when we go to doctor, what doctor does? Okay, you have this problem, he'll give you some medicine. And he does, that's it. And then what he says? 4 din baad aake milo. He will not call you next day, Arey, kaisa hai tu? He has given medicine. Medicine will go inside, it will mix and it will do the effect and the body will get purified. Similarly, holy name has that power of purifying. When the holy name is spoken by the tongue and heard by the ears, everyone gets purified. So somehow or other, we have to give them holy name. That's why in ISKCON, when you come, immediately after some time, they start asking, Japa chalu kiya kya? Start chanting. That's very important, because holy name will automatically purify. We will not be able to purify that much as what holy name can purify. So what is preaching? Giving Bhagavad Gita, giving holy name. That is preaching. Now, there's one more shloka in Bhagavad Gita. This whole thing is based on Bhagavad Gita only. This is actually a seminar of 4 hours. We are trying to compress in one. So in preaching, Krishna says one very, very famous shloka, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam. Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Sudram Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shantim Gajachati. So preaching, a preacher, we all are preachers. Preachers should know 3 things. This shloka has all those 3 things. First thing is, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam means what? Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He is Bhoktaram. He is enjoyer of everything. Second, Suhudram Sarva Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He is the owner of everything. This is very important for us to know, Grahasthas. Krishna says, I am the owner of everything. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. That means everything, even the house what we stay belongs to Krishna. The wife or husband whom we feel is ours are also Krishna's. The children whom we are taking care of, whom we feel they are under my protection, are actually under Krishna's protection only. The work what we do and get our sadhan is also governed by Krishna. So when a preacher knows all these things, he becomes very indifferent to the result. A lot of time we are scared for preaching because we think, होगा कि नहीं होगा पता नहीं, आगे वाला सुनेगा कि नहीं सुनेगा पता नहीं, कुछ आएगा क्या पता नहीं, I might fail, people might laugh. But if we know the essence of this shloka, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam, not only preaching, even in our material life we'll be satisfied. Why? Because we know everything is governed by Krishna. Not even a blade of grass moves without his sanction, and we are making big, big plans. I'll do this 3 years engineering, 4 years engineering, uske baad this job, then I'll marry this girl or this boy and this life, and I'll stay this house 3 BHK Bangalore or Hyderabad. पूरा रोड मैप क्लियर है, but रोड मैप होता है क्या वैसे एग्जीक्यूट? एग्जीक्यूटर उधर है. So when we know this, that he is the executor, then we become a little peaceful. But that doesn't mean we should not be putting efforts. It only means that we should not be having burnt heart. A lot of time and energy of our life goes in crying. Sorry for using the hard word, but most of the time we are not executing what we want. We are always harping on what someone did to me or what I missed. Na soshati na kangshati. Either we are in future or we are in past. If you see last 3 days, what new thing we did or what we did in our spiritual life or material life which will help me 10 years down the line. We are living a routine life. Why? Because we feel I am the doer. We feel I am the doer. If I don't, when we are chanting, what happens? How many of you all chant? A wrong question to ask. I should ask the other way. How many of you all don't chant? Because I don't want to, pick people. So when we are chanting, what happens? Be frank, yaar. You all Friday devotees, senior devotees. Mind goes on a world tour. पूरा ऐसा घूम के आता, सब स्टेटस याद आते लोगों के. उसने वो स्टेटस क्यों डाला रहेगा? Right? और we try to plan. अभी मैं ये करूँगा, कल वो करूँगा, आज मैं बीमार हूँ, ठीक है, कल ठीक हो जाऊँगा, फिर ये करूँगा. Why we think so much when we are chanting? Because we feel I am the doer. मैं कर रहा हूँ सब. मेरे करने से ही सब हो रहा है. मैं नहीं करूँगा तो कैसे होगा? Externally it might look like that, but as we grow in our devotional life, we should know and have a strong faith and conviction, Krishna is the doer. And not only Krishna is the doer, Krishna is Suhudram Sarva Bhutanam. Who says this? Krishna is Suhudram Sarva Bhutanam. He himself says, Bhoktaram yagya sapasam, suhudram sarva bhutanam. He says, I am everyone's well-wisher. So if someone says that he is my well-wisher, if I say I am your well-wisher, ठीक है, thank you, you are my well-wisher. All these big people come, politician come, मैं सबका शुभ चिंतक हूँ. What we say, very good. But he is not a politician, he is Krishna. When he says something, he means it. He means it. He is saying, I am your well-wisher. Don't worry, you do your job. You do your bhakti. You do your material life properly. Don't do too much of planning when I am chanting. Just focus on me. I'll take care of other things. So when we know this, I am not the doer, he is the doer. He is the doer, at the same time he is my well-wisher. What perfection, what else we want in life? But just to get this faith, zindagi lag jati hai. Just to get this faith that Krishna is my well-wisher. If I do something in bhakti, I will never be a loser. ये faith आने में जिंदगी लग जाती है. And this whole thing, ये सब पूरा propaganda हम कर रहे हैं just to get this faith in Krishna, that Krishna is our well-wisher. Otherwise we feel, I got less marks, or my son didn't get into this, or my daughter didn't get the right husband, or this thing didn't happen, that thing didn't happen. No, it's all being watched by Krishna, don't worry. And Krishna says he is our well-wisher. 5 years down the line, probably I will realize, अच्छा ही हुआ, ऐसा हुआ. अगर मैंने चाहा तो होता था, कुछ और ही गड़बड़ हो जाती थी. Right? So if we get this faith on this shloka, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhudram sarva bhutanam nyatva mam shantim rachati. Prabhupada quotes this shloka in a Bhagavatam purport. And there he writes in the 3rd canto. And there he writes, if those of you all who have read Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada takes a word and he says, this word is very important. So here in the Bhagavatam purport, Prabhupada is saying this word Suhudram is very, very important. Krishna is ever well-wisher. And if we have this faith, Prabhupada writes in the purport, if we have this faith, we will always be peaceful. So when a pracharak goes with this idea that Krishna is proprietor of everything, I am working on his behalf and he is my ever well-wisher, we will not have any problem in preaching. Right? We get little scared of preaching. That's why this is very important. One Prabhuji was saying that he gave this example which was very striking. You all have seen sumo wrestlers. Wrestlers देखे हैं ना हमारे wrestler India. Sumo wrestler वो उधर वो WWF में कौन आता था पहले? हमारे बचपन में एक सुमो रेसलर आता था ऐसे एकदम ऐसा, वो किसी के ऊपर बैठ जाता था तो मर ही जाता था अंदर का आदमी, पता नहीं हमको. वो अभी वी केम टू नो इट्स ऑल फेक बोलते हैं WWF. तो सपोज देयर इज अ रेसलिंग मैच एंड देयर आर 2 sumo wrestlers on this side, and this side a guy like me पतला सा fighting with these 2 sumo wrestlers. Who will win? Oh no, there are 3 people, sorry, not 2. There are 3 people it seems. One thin fellow this side, thin, no, normal fellow, plus 2 sumo wrestlers. Prabhuji is there, Prabhuji is a bodybuilder, 2 sumo wrestlers. And this side, one simple Kadi Pelwan, aisa hi. So who will win? Which match? Which team will win? Naturally this team, right? So Prabhuji, that I was hearing his lecture, he gave this analogy which was very nice. Think about it, okay? He says, this team which consisted of the 2 sumo wrestlers and a normal guy is the preaching team. Is a preaching team. And this team, or this guy who was on the other side, is a normal guy. Is a normal person whom we preach to. So all these 3 people want to preach him. And who are all these 3 people? The normal person is us. The one sumo wrestler is Paramatma in our heart. We have Paramatma in our heart, right? Paramatma is very strong. So that is that Paramatma. And who is the second sumo wrestler? Paramatma in his heart, the other person's heart. So all these 3 people wants that this other guy become a Krishna Bhakta. You getting my point? You want him because you are preaching him. So Paramatma in your heart also want that whom you are preaching to becomes a Bhakta. Paramatma in his heart also want this guy should become a Krishna Bhakta. So will this team not win? So why we should be scared of preaching? It's a sure shot win formula. We might not win immediately. Immediately you tell someone he will not come. Immediately you give someone a book, he might not take. Immediately you give a bead bag, he will not take the bead bag. But this example I gave last time also, if there's a wall, and we have to break this wall, someone will go and hit it, it will not break. But every day people are hitting it. Every day while going to prasad, you all are hitting it. After 1 year, slowly some crack will start developing in it, correct? And then after that 1 year, someone is going to, prasadam, he just pushes it, it will break. Now, did that person broke the wall? No, it is so many people from every year they are hitting. That last one person was nimitta matram. Similarly, people must be approached by so many ways by Krishna, in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in the form of pravachan, in the form of friend telling them come for program, and every time they said no, magi rehta, kide kaam asa, they will never come. But slowly, that matka of Sukruti is getting filled. They are hearing Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, they are seeing Bhagavad Gita, they are holding it, opening, bara asani घेऊया, naka asam घे. ते वता परत. देवाचे देवाक थंयच दवरया. Slowly that matka is getting filled and that wall is getting loose. And one day when you push, Hari Bol, he comes for program. He said, okay, yaar, enough. I am tired of serving everyone now. Now tell me what is the most intelligent thing to do. I want to become a devotee of the Lord. So preaching is like this. It will not become immediately, but it will definitely have effect. Skip. Okay. Now, qualities of preacher. One very important thing of preacher is walk the talk. Walk the talk means we have to do what we say. We have to do what we say. We cannot be saying one thing and doing something else. And that person whom we are preaching to, he also sees us. Yaar, ye to kuch aur hi hai. So they will not trust. Preaching will not work. It's very, very important to have good sadhana. A pracharak himself should have good sadhana. Purity is the force. We should be having good knowledge. Not very shastric, but basic knowledge of Srila Prabhupada's books. Only then we will be able to do prachar to someone. One very, very important quality of a pracharak is that he has strong faith in words of Srila Prabhupada and his Guru. Very important, faith. Faith is most important thing in prachar. We cannot be going for book distribution. तू पढ़ ले, वो बोलेगा क्या लिखा है इसमें, तू ही पढ़, मैंने तो पढ़ा नहीं, तू पढ़ ले. एक बार मुझे पूछा किसी ने, I was giving a book to someone long when early days. He said किधर भरेला था तो ही कौन? I was giving a BTG. ही कौन? I said BTG, new stories come where we'll read all the BTGs. I said I don't know who she is. He didn't take the book. He gave it back. Long time back. So I realized people, they are not fools. They are not fools. They want to check what we are giving is right or wrong. So it's very, very important that pracharak himself, I am not saying you should know the whole Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita contest. No, we don't want shloka pandits. If you are doing, it's great. We don't want shloka pandits, but we should know at least a basic philosophy. It's very important. Most important is what we are doing prachar of, we should be following ourselves, whatever, to the little extent. That's very important. If our sadhana is only not right, then there will not be force in that prachar. There is no purity. Purity is the force. That's why on YouTube there are so many things. They say that last 3 years, the amount of data which is generated in last 3 years, just after COVID, in the whole human history, this much data is not generated. Now there's one new industry which has come, which is storing only data. Data centers. So much of data, content is getting generated. Electronic content is getting generated. So much. Right? So you have so much things on YouTube. But looking at them, we don't follow them what they are saying. Why? Because we know, yeah, ऐसे fake रहा है कुछ तो. Fake रहा है. Right? Why? Because they don't follow what they are doing. Sometimes people send us some video, some new people, what do you think about it? So we ask them, that person who told you, is he following that? I told you, one of my colleagues, he chants so many mantras. Someone, he went to this temple, he gave him this mantra. He went to Bhagavati temple, this mantra. He went to this temple, this mantra he gave. So in the morning, he gets up 3 o'clock and he chants all those mantras. Right? It's very good. It's a very good thing. But then we should be knowing the people who gave us those mantras, are they following those mantras? Or they just giving it for us because they have to give something. Koi aaya hai na, kuch to bolna padega. So it's very, very important that when we talk to someone else, we also follow those things. That's why I said when we do prachar, purity comes to us naturally. Why? Because we have to follow it ना. 1 घंटे का क्लास देना है तो 4 घंटे का रिसर्च करना पड़ता है. 1 वीक उसी में गया. Right? So naturally you get connected to Krishna. So that's why prachar is very important. And we should not shy away from prachar. It's very, very important that we should do prachar. So now coming to the last part, I told it's a 4-hour seminar in 4 parts. Each class was of 1.5 hours and there were 4 classes. But I tried to compress in one. Okay. So why we don't do prachar? Now I want to ask you all this question. Why we don't do prachar? बोलिए. कित्याक आमी करना प्रचार? Word to word translation in कोंकणी. कितें तरी आसतलें न्ही? What is the reason? Yeah, Mataji, tell. You raise your hand. Yes, I am only not perfect. How I will leave? A driver only is not perfect. He is opening a driver learning school. Yes, that is one. Perfect. What else? Why we don't do prachar? Or why I am hesitant to do? Let's put it like that. Why I am hesitant to do prachar? One is that I myself is not perfect. What else? What if the other guy doesn't show interest? Yes. What if I fail? Why else we don't do prachar? अरे बोलिए, इतने आप सब लोग हो, कल जो सोचो आप सब लोग प्रचारक बन गए, मड़गांव तो वैकुंठ बन जाएगा. हाँ, Prabhupada used to say everyone should become a guru. सब गुरु बनने चाहिए, नहीं तो कौन अमेरिका से लोग थोड़ी आके गुरु बनेंगे, हमको ही बनाना पड़ेगा ना. Why we don't do prachar? What stops you from doing prachar? Material world. We are too much attached to the material world. That's what you're saying, Mataji? Okay, we are attached to the material world. We are staying in the material world. Yes. Okay, right. What else? बोलिए. Mataji. Yeah, we think like that. Response क्या मिलेगा? You know, बंदा सुनेगा नहीं सुनेगा, हंसेगा तो हम पे कैसा लगेगा? Yes. One more reason is probably we feel that I don't know all the Shastra. If he asks me a question, then if I am not able to answer, क्या होगा? Correct? Great. So now we will see quickly in 5 minutes. I want to stop by 9:10. Okay, classes normally should not go beyond that. So we will now discuss some of the ways to do prachar. We are saying about prachar. What we discussed till now is what is prachar. We discuss the importance of prachar. We discuss the effect of prachar. We discuss why prachar is important to Srila Prabhupada and what Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita speaks about prachar. Now we'll see how to do prachar. Before I start with how to do prachar, I will tell you one story. Okay. So I think this happened 65, 66, 67. 2 years के बाद रथ यात्रा चालू हुआ. 1967. The time is 1967 now, 67, 68, San Francisco. Okay. They were constructing the Rath for Jagannath Rath Yatra. And one devotee was below the Rath. अकेला आदमी था, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर था, पूरा रथ क्रिएट किया. Who was the person? जयानंद प्रभु. You don't know जयानंद प्रभु? इस बार रथ यात्रा को देखना. वो फोटो किधर है? उधर था ना, निकाल दिया तुम लोगों ने. इस बार रथ यात्रा को देखना. रथ यात्रा पे 3 रहते हैं. कौन रहते हैं? बलदेव, जगन्नाथ, सुभद्रा. और कौन रहते हैं? प्रभुपाद रहते हैं. और कौन रहते हैं? चौथा फोटो देखना कौन रहे, 5वां. ओके, ही इज जयानंद प्रभु. साहब इस्कॉन वालों को पता होना चाहिए. ओके, तो ही वॉज वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर. पूरा रथ खड़ा करते थे. अकेला काम कर रहा था नीचे. टैक्सी चलाता था दिन में. ही यूज्ड टू ड्राइव टैक्सी. व्हाटएवर मनी यूज्ड टू गेट, ही यूज्ड टू गिव Prabhupada. मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर इन अमेरिका इन 1960s. ही वुड हैव got paid in lakhs, but he said I don't want to get into this rat race. I want to serve you. So he was not repairing, he was constructing the rath. अकेले थे. एक आदमी जा रहा था, उनको बुलाया. Will you please help me? बोला, what help you want? बोला, you take this nail, you hold this nail and I will hit it. This boy said, okay, what is so big deal in that? I'll hold it. He held the nail and Janan Prabhu was hitting the nail. Andar gaya, nail hit kiya. And in the way he spoke to him, he told him what he is doing, what is all this. Then the whole day that boy was with Janan Prabhu. What was his work? कील पकड़ने का, ये कील ठोकेंगे बस इतना ही काम करना है. That boy was very satisfied. He said, okay, I'll come next day also. He said, Janan Prabhu said, yeah, come next day. Next day also same job, कील पकड़ने का, ये ठोकते रहेंगे, बिकॉज बहुत कीले लगते हैं ना, छोटा छोटा पार्ट्स बना के वो रथ बनाना पड़ता है. So like this, Janan Prabhu, who was just making a rath, preaching में क्या लगता है, भगवत गीता मालूम होना है, वो क्या बोलेगा तो हमें पता नहीं है, और क्या बोले, हम लोग मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में है, और क्या बोले आप, प्रीचिंग नहीं कर रहे थे, वो सिर्फ उसको क्या बोल रहे थे, कील पकड़ो, मैं कील ठोकूंगा. ओके, एंड ही सेड आई विल कम नेक्स्ट डे ऑल्सो सेम थिंग, कील पकड़ो, कील ठोको. जानन प्रभु ठोक रहे हैं, ये पकड़ रहे हैं. He became, and थोड़ा थोड़ा बोल रहे उसको, what is this rath and all that thing. He became very happy. He started coming to temple, and then he became a, जो भी मंदिर में घुसता है वो बाद में बाहर नहीं आता ना, वो वन वे है, माफिया. एक बार घुसो अंदर तो बाहर जाने का रास्ता बंद होता है. He became a devotee. You know who is this devotee? Who is this devotee? Who is this boy? Who he became later? Jai Pataka Maharaj. Can you imagine? Jai Pataka Maharaj. He is the leader of ISKCON now. He is running ISKCON. You have seen Jai Pataka Maharaj latest videos. He is the source of inspiration. You know, हमको थोड़ा इधर आँख दुखता है, पीठ दुखता है, बोलते हैं नहीं मैं लेक्चर कैंसिल करता हूँ. You see him, you feel like let me do something. And how it started? He was walking. He was just walking from there. Of course, he is Acharya. All our Acharyas are not ordinary people, but the way they come, he was just walking. And Jayanand Prabhu just called him कील पकड़ने के लिए. अभी इसमें कौन सा भागवतम का श्लोका बोला उसको, इसमें कौन सा उसको प्रश्न क्वेश्चन, कुछ नहीं. Preaching. He became sannyasi. He is running ISKCON today. So now we will discuss what is preaching, okay, at the base of this story. So preaching is not always giving lectures. They say preach, and if required, talk. It's very correct actually. It's very correct. So preaching is not only giving big lectures or Sanskrit shlokas after shlokas. No, if you can do it, it is very good. Like Amrendra Prabhu, when he speaks, amazing. We feel like just listening to him. If you can do it, it's great. But that's not preaching is not only that. What is preaching? There in this one full session, they were discussing only about this, what is preaching, which was almost about 2 hours. Okay, so I've taken some points from them. Probably later we can discuss more. One of the points they said was, preaching means just being a good example. Preaching means just being a good example of a good devotee. That is preaching. Preaching means putting tilak. Preaching means wearing dhoti and kurta. Now to wear dhoti and kurta, what shastric knowledge is required? To put a tilak, what shastric knowledge is required? Right, so once someone asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a devotee? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 3 answers, right? What was the first answer? Who is a devotee? Who is a Vaishnava? I'll be very specific. Who is a Vaishnava? We should do Vaishnava Seva, right? Who is a Vaishnava? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 3 answers. This he gave in Kulyagram, where they were making the ropes for Jagannath Rath Yatra. What was the first answer? Who is a devotee? Who takes Krishna's names even once. He is a devotee. Right? So everyone can become a devotee. What is the second answer? He gave second answer. Who takes Krishna's names constantly is, or who remembers Krishna constantly is a devotee. And third year he gave third answer. Who is a devotee? Looking at him, जिसको देख के दूसरे को कृष्णा का याद आए, वो devotee है. So when you put tilak, what we are doing? When we are putting tilak, other person, हमारा तिलक भी ऐसा छोटा सा नहीं रहता है, ऐसा टक करके ना. पहले ladies, not a bad, sorry, nothing to offend you all. पहले ladies used to put a big kunku like that. My mother used to put a big tika. Now it is become a tick. You can't see also. It is like that. है कि नहीं है? Sorry, no offense. But our kunku is sorry, not kunku. This is kunku only. Krishna is the husband. Our kunku is very big. यहाँ से चालू होता है, इधर कुछ बचा ही नहीं. मीन्स अंधे को भी दिखेगा तिलक लगा के आया बोल के. So what happens when someone sees tilak on our forehead? What he thinks of? He thinks of carnival. Carnival देखा ना सब लोगों ने? When someone sees tilak on the forehead, he remembers carnival? No, he remembers Krishna. He doesn't even know what it is. He will ask, this is something religious, what it is. Then we tell, this is Tulsi, this is Krishna's leg, like this. The next time he sees, no, he'll remember Krishna's leg, Tulsi. That is prachar. What is prachar? इसमें कौन सा संस्कृत श्लोका का ज़रूरत है? No Sanskrit shloka required. When you wear kanti mala, my mala is also big. I have to change it now. So my one lady in the office, she's a Christian lady. She says, "What is this tight necklace you are wearing? It's so tight. It is not hurting you." Then I had to show her. No, look, it is loose. Look, Sandra, look, it is loose. So then I told, this is Tulsi. Oh, this is Tulsi, huh? That's Tulsi. What grows? How you make it? I said, no, in Vrindavan, the big Tulsis, then the stem they make like that. So now every time she looks at it, she will remember Tulsi. It's a Christian lady. She will be doing so many nasty things. But she sees Tulsi. Right? What is this prachar? When you wear dhoti, what? You have seen Muslims? How you can identify a Muslim? देखो सबने बोल दिया ये रहता है कुछ तो इधर दाढ़ी भी रहता है. हाउ यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई हिंदू? हिंदू मीन्स नो बिंदु, वो कुछ भी कर सकता है. मैंने गौरंग प्रभु बोल रहे थे एक क्लास में हिंदू मीन्स देयर इज नो रेस्ट्रिक्शन, कुछ भी करा पहचान में नहीं आएगा कौन क्या है बोल के. राइट? सो एवरीवन हैज आइडेंटिफिकेशन. राइट? वी हैव दिस. व्हाई वी आर शाई फ्रॉम वेयरिंग धोती? राइट? वाई वी आर शाई फ्रॉम वेयरिंग धोती कुर्ता. कोई तो बोलेगा, थोड़ा चिढ़ाएगा थोड़ा टाइम बाद, बट बाद में उसको भी लगेगा ही इज डूइंग समथिंग ग्रेट. ही विल रिमेंबर समथिंग. नो, आई हैव टू बी धार्मिक. कोई धोती कुर्ता में आया है तो उसको बुलाएगा क्या? वो आजा मेरे साथ बार में चलते हैं, नहीं बोलेगा. वो क्यों? पता है डिफरेंट अटायर है. वही फ्रेंड है उसका, वही फ्रेंड है. वो बोलेगा उसको रादर, अरे चल किधर तो जाते हैं, बाहर नहीं रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हैं, बट ये चेंज करके आ, ये डाल के मत आ. क्यों? पता है ये ड्रेस में ये नहीं कर सकते. Right? So it's very, very important that when we have a Vaishnav attire, by that Vaishnav attire we are doing preaching, prachar hai wo. So we can do prachar by putting a simple tilak, by a simple Vaishnav attire. Another way of prachar is, I said, just being a good example. So when new people come or devotees come to the temple, we have to be just nice to them. Everyone is tired in the material world. सब लोग फ्राइड हो रहे हैं. कोई गरम तेल में फ्राई हो रहा है, कोई ठंडे तेल में फ्राई हो रहा है, बट एवरीवन इज फ्राइड. कोई बचा नहीं है. अभी द टेम्परेचर्स आर गोइंग टू 40 डिग्रीज. द AC मेहता इज़ नॉट कम. दुकान पे वो है ना, उसका AC का दुकान है. तो AC इज ऐसा सेलिंग लाइक हॉट केक. सब लोग AC लगा रहे हैं. ऐसा झोपड़ी में भी मैं गया था, ऐसा देखो पत्रे का घर है, उसमें भी AC है. मैं सोच रहा कैसा फ़ोटो निकालना चाहता था मैं. सब जगह पे AC. क्यों? इट इज़ सो हॉट. बाहर इतना गर्मी, अंदर से और हमारा गर्मी. ऑल द षड रिपूज भी है. वो बॉस का वो दूसरा गर्मी, मदर इन लॉ का और एक गर्मी, जो इसका उसका सब गर्मी है. एवरीवन इज गेटिंग फ्राइड. सब फ्राई हो रहे हैं हम लोग. राइट? तो ये फ्राइड आउट वर्ल्ड में जब लोग इधर आते हैं, एटलीस्ट हियर वी शुड गिव देम गुड एनवायरनमेंट. दैट्स व्हाई वी पुट AC हियर, है ना. एटलीस्ट यार बाहर से ठंडा हो जाएंगे. Right? So we have to give them good environment, not external environment, but a relationship, feeling of goodness. Just a smile, a simple smile on the face is preaching of a devotee. When devotees are smiling, they are happy around, that is preaching. Right? Last, I think after our Gaur Purnima celebration, it went very long. We did all the seva, everything we did, and then I saw Kunde Prabhu, Savan, Kurmadev Prabhu, Rane Prabhu, and Vishal, and one more, I think Ratish was there. They were just sitting over there. वहाँ पे बैठे थे. 4 कुर्सी, पूरा हॉल खाली, सब सेवा हो गए थे. 4 कुर्सी डाल के just they were sitting. They were looking so blissful. I felt I also should go and sit with them. So I also just went and sat with them. Just by, thank you Prabhu. Yeah, you can keep them down. Just by having a blissful environment around is preaching. They were happy. They were just, after they did all the seva, the bliss on their face were peaceful. And it was 11:45 by the way. 11:45 baj gaye the. And everything was very blissful. Just by having that environment of happiness around, putting a smile on your face and keeping everything nicely around, that is preaching. When someone sees this, oh, this is how is Krishna Bhakta, he is always happy. Prabhupada used to say, a best preacher, who is a best preacher? A happy devotee is the best preacher. What is the best preaching? Being happy is the best preaching in Krishna consciousness. That is very important. All this Shastra and all are important. People are not looking for all this. What people are looking for, genuine relationship, genuine people. They are looking for some happiness. So preaching is being happy, being blissful. We'll be having 10 problems. My back is aching, my head is aching, but I'm putting a smile. Why? Because I'm in temple. I'm in the temple. Right? Just like if you have to go to some restaurants, you have to have certain dress code. Correct? You cannot wear a lungi and go to some restaurant. They will say allowed nahi hai. Usi tarah we should know, when I come from that door to this temple, I should always be happy. If I am not happy, I should act happy. Right? This is Krishna's house. Krishna's house, no one should be unhappy. Everyone should be happy. And Krishna knows everything. He is Sudranam Sarva Bhutanam. He is well-wisher. Everyone is well-wisher. So being happy is the best preaching. Having a smiling face around is best preaching. Talking to someone is best preaching. You don't have to talk about Shastra. You have to talk about him. How are you? You came, so nice. Ask him all material things. You ask him, no problem. But that is best preaching, because you are making someone feel like at home. That is preaching. So preaching, we need not always want Shastric evidences or some backing of some big knowledge. Preaching is simple. Creating that environment in the center. Positivity is preaching. And what is anti-preaching? Anti-preaching is, I know you all are not there. Fights, creating misunderstanding, because this was a seminar, so all these things they put. Fights, creating misunderstanding, Vaishnava Aparad, talking ill about others, that is all anti-preaching. Cooking nice prasadam is preaching. How many Matajis were there for cooking today? देखो आप लोग प्रचार हो गया आपका, मैं तो ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ इधर. प्रचार तो हो गया, प्रचार तो 4 बजे से चालू है. Right? Cooking is preaching. Prabhupada said, ISKCON temples means Hari Katha, Hari Kirtan and Hari Prasad. If there are no Prasad, temple is not very good. Right? So Prabhupada is to give a lot of force on Prasad. And cooking nice Prasad is preaching. Other day someone had put a photo of Kala Jamun. Right? So we remember Kala Jamun. We still want to have that prasad. That is preaching. So people will come for Kala Jamun. Prabhupada used to keep, if you know Prabhupada and if you heard about Prabhupada used to give a lecture and he used to keep a big jar. And in that jar he used to keep all gulab jamuns and say, you will get all this after the lecture. So here and then you will get all this. That is prachar. Right? So cooking is prachar. Prachar is being a good example. What is required in today's world is being a good example. Because we have so many things. We have good facilities, good resources, but there are very few good examples. No good examples. So to be, not only in devotee community, even in non-devotee communities, there are very, very few good examples. We don't want our child to see the phone, but we see the phone in front of him. That itself is not a good example. What to talk about so many other things. Recently there was a case when that lady killed his husband and put him in the drum, in the cement. And the daughter said, Papa is in the drum. Abhi Bangalore mein hua 2 दिन पहले. Papa, she is in the drum. We are not good examples. Of course, this is extreme. This is extreme. So everything in between that. Right? So even in devotee community, we have to be a good example. That is what people are looking for. So when we have good example and then we are preaching with good sadhana, and one very very important point is, when we are preaching, we should know that we have backing of Srila Prabhupada and backing of all the parampara. You see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur sitting over there, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Jagannath Das Babaji, what they are doing? He's chanting, he's praying, and normally Bhakti Vinod Thakur's photo, if you see on internet, you will always see him with books next to him. So all that knowledge comes to our backing. So when we are doing prachar, we should know that we are not alone. And I'm not saying prachar is not only giving classes. Even when you are talking to someone, or maybe when smiling, or just making someone feel comfortable, their whole power is there with us. And we should be humble, saying that I am not doing this. It's only because of Guru and Krishna and Srila Prabhupada that we are able to do something. Then it is perfection. So that's why the next part was, one full lecture was only on pitfalls on preaching, which I have taken only 2 points. First thing is, preaching there will be a lot of difficulties. Never give up. And second thing, with preaching, labh pratishtha will come. Lot of honor will come in preaching, but we should not take that honor. We should give it to Prabhupada. Pass that honor to Prabhupada. That's why we always say, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Oh, they say, oh Prabhuji, oh Mataji, you are so great, you speak nicely, you do this nicely. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We should be very, very careful. It's nothing belongs to us. It's only because of their empowerment we are able to do something. That's very, very important. So with this, we conclude this very important point. Preaching is the essence. As I said in the start, why Srila Prabhupada said this is the essence, because actually ISKCON means preaching. If you see all other places, today I shared one video of Srila Prabhupada where Prabhupada was telling temple means, Prabhupada used to say our temples, ISKCON temples are not just temples made of marble. Our temples are universities where knowledge is given, where prachar is happening. If there is no prachar, there is no life. There is no prachar, no life. This is very, very important. So that's why Prabhupada said preaching is the essence. And all of us sitting over here, Yatha Shakti. Yatha Shakti. You know, what is preaching? Preaching is connecting the bridge between Krishna and the soul. Krishna and the people around, all the souls. And Lord Ram also built a bridge between him and Mother Sita. And that bridge was built by Hanuman also and Squirrel also. So Hanuman was getting big boulders and Squirrel was getting small stone. But in the eyes of Hanuman, in the eyes of Lord Ram, both were equal. Both were equal. So Yatha Shakti, if we can do some big tasks, big pandal programs, thousands of people, do it. If we can just smile, just keep a happy environment, do that. And then everything between that, that is prachar. And we saw how prachar is important. Krishna is saying himself in Bhagavad Gita, you give this knowledge to someone, you are dear to me. Srimad Bhagavatam, he is saying 3 ways. What are the 3 ways to please Krishna? In Srimad Bhagavatam, prachar is first, that is giving compassion to others. Second, third, ये प्रभु जी इसने सुना ही नहीं लगता है कुछ. Sense control. Give Krishna to others, that is prachar, or mercy to other people. Second is your sense control is third. Second one is be satisfied. गृहस्थों के लिए बहुत important है. You know, we also get carried away sometimes. ये चाहिए. But whatever you do your best, work hard. And whatever comes, be satisfied with that. Then only we'll get peaceful sleep in the night and we can get up in the morning and chant. Otherwise, रात को नींद नहीं आएगी, सुबह जपा भी नहीं होगा, फिर भक्ति कहाँ होने वाली है? If you see all Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it's all taking us towards having a peaceful life so that we can do Hari Bhakti. That's it. The aim of life is to do Hari Bhakti. और कुछ नहीं करना है. ये सब आएंगे जाएंगे. पहले बीडन था, अभी ट्रम्प आया, बाद में और कोई आएगा. दुनिया चलती रहेगी और हम बूढ़े होते जाएंगे and time will be out. The whole purpose of life is to do Hari Bhakti, and whatever everything is around us is to enable us to do one thing. If you don't do that, it's a, what is that shloka? Janilo shunilo visha khainu. Knowingly I ate poison by not worshipping Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.